Well, we're back doing some work on the laundry. This is a Maytag Neptune, model number MAH 9700, and been a great washer. We've gotten it, I mean, you can see the date on that baby. We've had it since 05 or just early 06, and never really had any issues with it. I had to replace the control board once, and but otherwise it's always run good. But last week when we got back from camping and had a whole bunch of laundry to do, it got through about half of it and stopped draining. And I took it apart and I figured out what was wrong. And basically what had happened is a nickel somehow had managed to sneak its way through whatever seal is in the front of that tub and work its way down into the pump, and it broke the pump shaft. And I could fix it. I've got a replacement pump here for about 40 bucks. But I didn't want to wait, and we needed to do some laundry, and I had just replaced my dryer, so I said to heck with it. She's been good, but I'm going to go get another one. So I went and I bought the matching unit to the dryer that I had just bought. And now I'm going to put this thing back together, and we're going to show you what we have to do. Because I'm going to sell this thing for, I figure I'd get a few $100s for it, because it still works great. Everything works perfect. It's a nice washer. It's got super high speeds and, you know, sanitized modes and all sorts of other stuff. It's been fantastic, and I'm sure somebody's going to want this thing once I get the pump changed out. So that's next. All right, so the first thing you got to do is pop this back panel off. I mean, obviously, if you haven't already, you need to unplug it, because you don't want to do this when it's hot. You never know what you're going to run into back here, and there's going to be water. And it's those two screws, pick up on it, and it falls off. Here's your tub motor, and this is the drain, so you follow that back, and that's the pump. Alright, so you follow your drain line, and it comes down into that pump, which then you can see also has a line that goes up to the tub, and there's just a little wire plug there, and it's mounted onto a just a rubber isolator that's down there. But once you get the hoses off and that plug off, you just turn that a little bit and it'll pop right out. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so for these clamps, you can get these off with your fingers. And now, if there's water in this thing, it will be a flood right now, because this is a check valve and all the water in there is going to come out. So if you're doing this in your house, have some towels ready or something, because the minute you pull this off, it's a mess. Same thing with this one. And you can still see there's still some water in it. And you can turn that and pop it off. And now, just unplug the connector, and out comes your pump. You can see the little check valve in it. Now you can buy this as an entire assembly for about $120, but I'm cheap and happened to notice when I took it apart that the motor comes off. And so I looked around till I found this, which is just the motor and the impeller. So what you got on this thing, you've got 3 Phillips screws that just have to be pulled off, which we're going to do right now. Okay, so we'll pull these off. Like that, and then you can separate the impeller from the pump. Save the screws. And you can see how bent this is. So she wasn't running too well anymore. Now look at that. There is an O-ring on it, but there is a matching O-ring on the new one, so that's all right. Look about the same. I'm gonna go clean this out because it's terrible. Now we rinsed it out a little bit. Now this came in like that, and this piece was this way. So we want to line this up. You see these got these pieces in there. They need to line up with these slots. So we want to line that up so it's about the same as it was before. There you go, the O-ring. It's a snug fit, so you want to get that in there good. And he's going to make sure these holes are lined up. Here we go. And then we're going to start by putting screws back in. That one's a little, there she goes. All right, and now the pump's back together. So we can go plug this back in, clip it on, put the pipes on, and we're ready, and we're done. I mean, that is all it takes to change this pump. And this is garbage. And that's going on the way, exactly the same way it came out. You can see these, they go in, you'll see the key slots in the base one I'll show you in a second. You just pop that in there, turn it, it locks in, plug the hoses on, clamp them down, put the back on, and you are ready to rock and roll. You can see, we sneak in there, the key slot holes in the base, and you put it in and turn it, and then you reconnect your hoses, plug your wire in, and you're finished. So that's what we're going to do. I'm take this baby and set her down in there, turn it, plug the connector back in, hook up the inlet and the outlet hose, connect the clamps, and that's it. That is how you change the water pump on a Maytag Neptune. Probably one of the simplest jobs you can do on this machine. But now I'm going to plug this thing into the wall, run one of my garden hoses over here to the cold section, and see if we can run a quick cycle on it to make sure that pump is functioning. Now the garden hose idea was a failure because I forgot you need the special hoses that have female ends on both sides to hook this thing up. So all I did, I took my hose, I sprayed a couple of gallons of water into the tub so I can see it about the level that it had left when it crapped out. And now I'm just going to put it on a spin only cycle and let's see what happens. Hey, we got a pump. It's draining pretty quick. Beautiful. And now I got a fixed washing machine. And stop that, kill it. It's actually fantastic. So I'm going to put this thing up for sale, clean it up a little bit, and get it out of here because it works perfectly now. And, well, the first pump lasted 13 years. So it's probably good for half that anyway from here on. So for a few $100 somebody's getting a nice washing machine.